Hey, how's everybody doing today? It's your boy Airboy, and I'm back with another FanBoyAaron review, and this time I will be taking a look at the Transformers Siege War for Cybertron Titan class Omega Supreme. Now, before we take a look at the figure, we will take a quick look at the box. As you can see, it is a hefty box. I had to move it all the way back just to fit it all the way in frame. Anyway, there's the front of the box with a lovely bit of artwork there of Omega. As you can see. We're going to rotate the sucker around to the side of the box with an image of what appears to be the Ark. You can see the class that he is. He is a class Titan. Alright. There's nothing of interest at the bottom of the box. Side of the box, this panel here, the basic Siege artwork we've seen on most of the Siege toy line so far. I'll get the camera focus. Back of the box. We have some product shots of Omega. His base mode, everything he comes with, everything he does, well, almost everything he comes with. And I don't see a bio on here. I think it's on the instructions, and I'm not going to bother reading it. Anyway, that does it for the box. Now, let's get the main event in the frame, shall we? Actually, now that I think about it, let's save the whole thing for last, because I got a lot to go over here in very little time. So, we'll go each component of the base mode one at a time, then we'll take a look at the whole thing as a whole. Anyway, here's the main part of the base mode, which will become Omega's body. And, yeah, it's very reminiscent of the G1 toy. And we're going to remove camera, get an aerial view here. It is a pretty hefty size. To give you an idea of how big it is, here it is next to a Legends class figure. Alright, we're going to go in and take a closer look, as I can't pick this thing up and move it around consistently. Take a nice little peek at all the molded detail. And there's not much paint on it, but really I don't think he needs it. I mean, I might end up grabbing the Repro label sticker sheet. And as you can see on the back here, there is plenty of molded detail all throughout this thing. Really, it all looks good, and there's lots of little ramps. And you know, real quick, there is one thing I do want to go over. Just bring this up. There we go. Ugh. This little mini con he comes with, I think his name is Countdown, and yeah, there's compartments in his legs, on the rocket, and on the tank where you can store this thing. But I'm just going to toss him in a junk drawer. I'm just going to take a quick look at him, since he is part of this figure. You see, red and white plastic. You can more or less see how the transformation works out. I'm going to go ahead and transform this guy. Countdown. Doot doot. Boop. There we go. Yeah, he's not a bad little mini-con, it's just, he's not the main event. That thing back there is the main event. Just take a quick look at him. I think he's supposed to be like a little Mars rover vehicle. Articulation, head doesn't move. Arms have practically nothing except that rotation. Legs go up that far, back that far. Can't really do the splits. Full bend at the knee, and you can flip out this peg and use them as a weapon for smaller or bigger figures. And there are various ports on this thing where you can plug them in. So yeah, Countdown. Woo. And yeah, that does it for the base mode. As you can see, there's also molded detail inside the base mode, as well as some missile racks on either side. I do like that little feature. Nice little detail they added there. And I think that does it for the base mode. Well, the main part of the base mode. Let's go on to the rocket. Yeah, and I'll have to move the camera to look at this thing all the way. Yeah, that's it's a big, long, girthy fella right there. I think this rocket stands over 2 feet tall. You know what? I'm gonna give me a second. We're gonna see just how tall this thing is. Alright, tape measure here. Alright. Alright, there we go. Now, the rocket it stands at 2 feet tall exactly. Yeah, this thing is huge. And, like the main base mode, plenty of molded detail all throughout. You can even see up here at the front, they sculpted like a little cockpit area. Now, this is one area that probably could have used a little more paint, but, you know, I'm not complaining. Overall, it's a decent looking rocket. And this rocket becomes the arms for the robot mode. And that does it for the rocket. And the final component we need to look at, we can look at without having to remove the camera from the stand. So, let's go ahead and bring it in. Here is the tank. And yeah, it's a big tank. Like size-wise, it's comparable to a leader class vehicle mode. And again, not a whole lot of paint, but again, you really don't need it. He's got plenty of decent looking colors on him already. Now the treads don't roll, there's just wheels underneath that do. And he rolls pretty okay with them. Articulation, the turrets can rotate up. This turret cannot rotate, unfortunately, but it can hinge up and down. I mean, you can get it to rotate, but it means moving the head back and revealing the face, and yeah, we're not going to do that. My only real gripe with the tank mode is that the head doesn't like to tab in super securely to the turret. And our size comparison. Here it is with the Titans Returns Legend Class Beachcomber. And, yeah, you know what? We'll do more comparison. Just let me get the whole thing together. So we can take a look at this thing as a whole. Move that there. There. Now, one thing about the rocket I forgot to point out is sometimes the panels don't like to close all the way. It could be just a case of your mileage may vary with your copy, but that is a problem. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not displaying it in the base mode. Now, one minor nitpick I have about the tank mode is that it is a little big for the tread, or for the little walkway or whatever it's called, but I mean, the overall aesthetic is still there. It works just fine. There's how the whole thing looks together as a whole, and yeah, very reminiscent to the G1 toy. Now, as far as Omega is concerned, he is probably one of very few of the Transformers whose G1 design I actually like. Come to think of it, being one of my favorite characters, there are no iterations of this character that I've seen that I don't like. None whatsoever. Every version of Omega I've ever seen, I absolutely love. Now, I might show off the transformation in detail in another video, but as far as this one goes, we're going to skip right to the robot mode because I do not want to make this an hour-long video. So, yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the robot mode. Oh, you know what? Actually, I almost forgot. Before we look at that, let's do some vehicle mode comparisons. Here he is again with Titan's Return Beachcomber. And yeah, most Micron and Legend class figures scale very well with this thing. Yeah, there he is with Beachcomber. Here he is with the Siege War for Cybertron Red Alert. Here he is with the Siege War for Cybertron Blue Streak. Here he is with the Siege War for Cybertron Soundwave. Mine has the third-party add-on kit and repro labels. And last but not least, here he is with the Siege War for Cybertron Leader Class Shockwave. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let's take a look at the robot mode. Alright, we are at the robot mode, and before we move up, let me just show you the compartments on his person. Both sides of his shins open up like this, where you can store the smaller accessories like countdown. So like if you don't have a junk drawer or something you can toss them in, or you don't want to use them, you can just bam, no longer a problem. And he also has a compartment here on his arm. Let me bring it around. Compartment here on his arm. That opens up the same way. It's a lot easier to see in vehicle mode, but yeah. Compartments aren't my main concern anyway. Let's take a closer look at Omega Supreme in his robot mode. And as you can see from the way I've had to handle the camera, he is big and beefy. Yeah, I can't even, my camera stand does not move high enough to reach him. I have to pick up the camera and move it in order for you to see it. We'll take a quick look at the details. I love the transparent yellow plastic. And he has yellow eyes, unfortunately. I wish he had blue, but you know, nothing a little paint or stickers couldn't fix. Big Autobot logo there on his belly. Lots of nice robotic and mechanical detail. Now, some of it could use a little paint, but overall, it does look very, very good. Transparent orange for his claws there. That looks good. And the transformation is very clean, too. Like, that is one of the cleanest backs I've ever seen on a Transformer. It's practically nothing there other than the wings. Yeah, that looks... I love the way that looks. Again, some details could use a little more paint, but it's a minor nitpick. Now, yeah, hold on. Let me try something real quick. Alright, we're back. I jacked up my camera stand a little bit. Now let's talk accessories. Aside from Countdown, he also comes with special effects parts. I'm going to go over each thing he comes with individually. He comes with this big effects part. Get it focus. There we go. This one. This one. This one. And he comes with 3 of these. And what you're meant to do with these effects parts is he has open portholes on either one of his arms. That was my lamp, sorry. You take the effects parts and you put them together like so. You can plug him there into his hand, and since this becomes the bottom part of the rocket, it could also look like flames coming out of the engine or whatever. And yeah, that is a very nice little detail. I do like the way that looks. Now, it can be a little floppy sometimes, but again, minor nitpick. And you can plug it into either arm. And as you probably saw throughout his body while I was going over it, there are various little black markings on his arms, legs, as well as other various little ports and pegs on his body where you can plug these smaller bits into to make it look like he's been damaged and there's like fire coming out of his wounds. Like, oh god, I got shot there, I got shot there. And there's also these little cannons on either one of his shoulders here. You can plug one of these effect parts into, like he's firing his shoulder cannon. Like, I'm firing stuff from my shoulders, and that is pretty cool. I like these little effects parts. I'm definitely going to use them when displaying him. Alright, we're almost done. And this is taking forever. And I shortened the video by skipping the transformation, and it's still taking forever. I'm going to go over articulation. The head can rotate all the way around, so cannon can flip up or down. I like to leave it down. Keep it clean. You can look up. Not that far. Can't. Well, you can look down just a little bit. Shoulders. And now everything on this guy is on nice, strong ratchets. Now, if it weren't for the wings on the back here, the shoulders could go all the way around. The arms go out about that far. And there is rotation right above the elbow. About 90 degrees of elbow bend. You can probably see there. Maybe just a little. No, it's 90 degrees. And as for this arm, you can rotate the claws around, and each claw is on a ratchet hinge, as well as a little hinge joint right there, which is nice. Nothing really on this hand, just due to the fact it's just a straight cannon. He does have a waist ratchet, which I absolutely love. I gotta bring the camera down a bit so I can show off his legs. Alright, his legs. They can go forward about that far. They can go back about that far. This guy is heavy. And they can do the full splits, though I wouldn't recommend it. There you go. And he does have thigh rotation. 90-degree knee bend. And when you bend the knee, you reveal some details on the knees, which I like that. And base of resistance. Some ankle tilt. A decent ankle tilt at that. Let me just straighten this guy up. Do comparisons and get this over with. Because I don't know how much longer this phone's going to be able to record. I still need to get a better camera. And we're gonna move them back a little bit for these comparisons. This is about the best I can do as far as fitting them all in frame. Alright, size comparisons. Alright, here he is next to Titan's Return Beachcomber. You can see he is super tiny compared to Omega. Here he is next to Siege Deluxe Class Red Alert. And Blue Streak. As you can see, he just towers over Deluxe Class figures. And here he is next to Voyager class Soundwave and Leader class Shockwave. And that more or less does it for Omega Supreme. Now, as he stands, he is about, where's my tape measure? There it is. I don't know how much feet can you? Alright. In his robot mode, he stands at about 20 inches. And at the time of release, he's going for about $160 to $180. Now, is he worth that price, and is he worth your time getting? It'll take you a bit of time to save for it, but yes, this guy is most certainly worth your time getting if you can find him for a decent price. At the least, I'd say $100. At the most, $180. You shouldn't have to pay more than that to get this guy. I highly recommend picking him up if you can find him. He is a very great figure. The only real complaints I have with the guy is that certain things don't like to, hold together all the way. I mean, he's a very durable, well put together figure. It's just certain panels don't like to close up all the way. And he could have used a little more paint for his robotic detail. But other than that, he is a damn near perfect figure, and I highly recommend getting him. Oh, one more thing I forgot to show off here. Well, first I'm going to close that up all the way. Just for some reason, it's not. You can extend the barrel here out a little bit. There we go. And yeah, that pretty much does it for Omega Supreme. Now, I might make a separate video of the transformation for this guy. It's just, I gotta do a lot, and I only have so much camera space to work with, considering how big he is. If I decide not to, I'll put a link in the description to someone else's video. And, yeah. This has been the Transformers Siege War for Cybertron Titan Class Omega Supreme. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, leave a nice comment, enjoy the rest of your day. And join me next time when I go over the Transformers Studio Series. Well, you'll see when we get to it. I think I'm going to enjoy this, and I think you guys will too. And until then, I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.